What's good? Welcome back to another episode of Where the Money At. And today we're going to talk about the big news, the Binance lawsuit, the Coinbase lawsuit. We're going to talk about why now is the best time to become a millionaire in whatever asset you're looking into. And we're going to talk about the resiliency and the maturity of this asset class that we like to discuss here, cryptocurrency. So let's get right into it. We're going to pop out with the price action of the crypto market. So we got Bitcoin sitting around $27,100. You know, the big news with the lawsuit came out of CZ and Binance catching lawsuits from the SEC, which we took a pretty big drop, but we have a nice rebound today at around 5.5%. But you know, it's not about the day-to-day price action here. It's about the big picture and the macro. So let's look at the weekly chart on TradingView. So we have these two lines right here, which we know I drew at around 48,000 and 16,000, which I believe is just the range we're going to be in until we break down to the new lows or break up to the new highs. This line doesn't mean anything. It's just something that I drew saying this is what I probably believe will happen. But if we look at the trend that's going on and we pull up the fib retracement tool, since that's what y'all like and that's what y'all want to see, from the high point, from the all-time high of 70,000, we came down to roughly around 33,000, bounced up, hit the 618 at 47,000. So I guess the chart is pretty accurate. So I guess we're going to keep using it while our time here. But what we're talking about today is not necessarily about the price action. Of course, our investments are based off of that. But let's talk about the big news. Binance catching this lawsuit. So these lawsuits and attacks on cryptocurrency and the exchanges and regulation, this is what's going to happen during the bear market. Binance got a lawsuit, Coinbase got a lawsuit, and they're going to go at all the exchanges. And it's just time to get bad players out of the market. Now, my opinion on it, I don't know if CZ really and Binance are really doing the things they accuse them of, but I feel way better about the Coinbase lawsuit than I feel about the Binance lawsuit. They're accusing Binance of wash trading and a whole bunch of illegal stuff. And CZ does like to talk and run his mouth a lot on Twitter. So the SEC and the government are not some people you want to antagonize because they take things very personally and they like to make examples out of people. Like today, they asked for an emergency order to freeze Binance US assets, which is ridiculous. But that's the level they're willing to take it to. And this is what we need in the space. While we're down here in this low part below 30,000, 40,000, a lot of things are going to happen. As we're checking, Coinbase caught a lawsuit, and even individual states like Alabama are going to be sending lawsuits to shut down each one. But that leads me into the resiliency of this asset, because nobody is talking about Bitcoin is going to zero anymore. Nobody is talking about it's a sham. If you talked about Bitcoin as an asset 4 to 5 years ago, people looked at you crazy and you were almost laughed at. Nobody's laughing now. Like we said in previous episodes, this is about transactions. The fact that this chart exists and it's sitting at 27,000 means there's money to be made. Financial products, ETF funds, mutual funds. Funds are actually, retirement funds are actually talking about adding the asset into it. So cryptocurrency is not going anywhere. So that just proves to me that we're on pace being locked in. While we're down here, a lot of people talk about this is the cycle that we're going to get regulation. This video dropped 7 days ago from the great state of Texas. It's 2 minutes. We're going to watch it really quickly. I'll just let it play out. And it's talking about how individual states are getting ready to bring their own crypto regulations to their state. So if it's moving like this, states are paying attention to it. Different countries are trying to figure out how they're trying to regulate it. We need to be paying attention to it.
Millions of people lost money in last year's collapse of the FTX cryptocurrency exchange. But a bill that's been sent to the governor's desk now aims to regulate this kind of digital banking in Texas. Here's KVUE's Darenisha Heron.
If you're one of the millions of Texans who have invested in cryptocurrency, odds are you use an app like Robinhood or Coinbase to do so. Well, House Bill 1666 would make sure your money isn't caught up in fraud or stolen by these companies. We've seen it happen before with many digital asset providers, but notably what used to be one of the largest cryptocurrency exchange platforms, FTX. The leaders of that company are still facing litigation after being accused of taking billions of dollars from customers. House Bill 1666 would prevent that by requiring digital asset providers to maintain enough funds to ensure customers can withdraw their assets at any time, eliminate commingling customer funds with company assets, and present a report to the Department of Banking for a yearly audit. State Representative Giovanni Capriglione presented the bill and feels confident it will become law pending the governor's signature.
You will be comfortable knowing that when you invest online, when you're buying cryptos, when you're trading it, when you're selling it, that those assets are being washed, that they are being managed, and that there's an audit trail that protects those assets.
Failure to comply would lead to punishments ranging from a loss of license or criminal charges. Capriglione says cryptocurrency is being regulated all over the world, but Texas would be one of the first in the U.S. to do so. So he hopes the federal government will follow suit and lightly regulate cryptocurrency. At the state capitol, I'm Darrenisha Heron.
All right, there you go. States are trying to figure out how they want to regulate it, so you need to be paying attention of how you want to move about it. And what did they talk about? FTX, maybe the biggest scam in history, maybe the biggest finance scam in history, with the amount of money they lost that just disappeared like that. And with that huge scam, ain't nobody talking about Bitcoin going to zero, because people are I think the general public is now mature enough to understand that, okay, this is not just crypto. Like when if this happened 5 years ago, they say crypto is bad. No, they say no, FTX was bad. FTX was a bad exchange, not the entire asset class. And that's why now is the time of whatever asset you like, stocks, real estate, cryptocurrency. This is the time you become a millionaire, not when it goes up and you cash out of whatever positions you made. You make the moves now, you do the research now. And this is where you get in to do what you have to do to get out whenever the next cycle, whenever we hit all-time highs again, which will be sometime in the future. Who knows? Could be next year, could be 10 years from now. There have been situations where stock market has went flat for 10 years. Could be 10 years from now, but I guarantee you, you'll thank yourself for the work you did today. And last thing we'll talk about right before we wrap it up is we all know the Fed has a meeting next week of whether they'll raise or pause interest rates. It doesn't really matter what they do, as long as you're paying attention to what they're doing. If we go back for the last 25 years, if you look at it currently, we're stair-stepping up. And in the last couple of years, as far as this chart shows, we stair-stepped up, paused for an indefinite amount of time, then we cut. We actually in 2015-16 we paused for a couple meetings and then went up again. So just because they paused and they paused for several meetings doesn't mean they can't raise interest rates more. If we look back in 2004, 5, 6, they were raising interest rates, paused for a while, then cut. So just based off of history, which is all I have to base my information off, this is what I believe they'll do this time. And my plan is based off of that. So I appreciate y'all rocking with me, and we're gonna keep going at it and get to this money.